Operation Jedburgh was a secret Allied operation during World War II, designed to support resistance movements in Nazi-occupied Europe, particularly in France, following the D-Day invasion. The operation was a joint venture involving British, American, and Free French forces, along with the Dutch and Belgian resistance. The mission's main objective was to organize, train, and arm local resistance groups to conduct guerrilla warfare, sabotage, and disrupt German supply lines as the Allies advanced across Europe. Operation Jedburgh began as part of the broader Allied effort to weaken German forces from within by fostering local uprisings and resistance activities. It was conceived by the British Special Operations Executive, SOE, the American Office of Strategic Services, OSS, and the Free French government-in-exile. The operation involved deploying small three-man teams into occupied territories, where they would work with local resistance cells to coordinate sabotage missions, gather intelligence, and support Allied military objectives. Each Jedburgh team consisted of 3 members, an officer, either British, American, or French, who would lead the mission. A radio operator, responsible for maintaining communication with Allied command through encrypted transmissions. A native speaker of the local language, often a member of the resistance, who would facilitate coordination with local groups. These teams were extensively trained in guerrilla warfare, demolition, and radio communication before their deployment. Their operations were timed to coincide with the Allied landings in Normandy on June 6, 1944, to maximize disruption behind enemy lines. Between June and August 1944, approximately 93 Jedburgh teams were parachuted into France and other parts of occupied Europe. They were dropped into rural areas, where they linked up with local Maquis, French resistance fighters, and began organizing ambushes, sabotage of railways and bridges, and attacks on German convoys. Their missions often focused on crippling the German supply chain and delaying reinforcements to the front lines. Jedburgh teams played a critical role in coordinating larger-scale resistance efforts with Allied military campaigns. For example, they were instrumental in the French resistance's sabotage operations during the Battle of Normandy, which helped slow German troop movements and supplies, aiding the overall Allied advance. The Jedburgh teams faced numerous challenges. They operated behind enemy lines, where they were at constant risk of being captured or killed by German forces. Additionally, they had to build trust with local resistance groups, many of whom were wary of outside interference, or were divided among themselves politically. Despite these difficulties, Operation Jedburgh was largely successful. The teams managed to inflict significant damage on German infrastructure and coordinated efforts that supported the liberation of occupied territories. Their work in France, the Netherlands, and Belgium proved crucial in disrupting German defenses, delaying reinforcements, and gathering intelligence for the advancing Allied forces. Operation Jedburgh marked a significant evolution in the use of special forces and unconventional warfare. It demonstrated the effectiveness of small, highly trained teams working in concert with local resistance groups to achieve strategic objectives. The operation laid the groundwork for modern special operations units, such as the U.S. Army Green Berets and British SAS, who continue to use many of the same principles of guerrilla warfare and collaboration with local forces. In summary, Operation Jedburgh was a pioneering mission in the use of unconventional warfare during World War II. By working with local resistance fighters and engaging in sabotage behind enemy lines, the Jedburgh teams helped disrupt German operations and contributed to the success of the Allied campaign in Europe.